You know, oftentimes you think it's me that gets all the revelation. But it actually isn't, you know. A lot of it comes from my beautiful princess sitting right here. You know, we're having a conversation in the car today, and some of the bombs that she dropped, it's like, of course, prophetic time frames. For example, you know, we see back in the days where Jesus came and set the record straight, I would say, with the Pharisees, because in those days they were in bed with the Romans, you know, the military as we see today, you know, and playing on the godly person. You know, I see politicians doing the same thing today, you know, playing on the Christian, pull the Christian card. You know, they've got nothing to do with Christianity. You know, but let's have a look back in those days. In those days we had Romans who slept with little boys. They called them Pulse, I think they were called. They were the little boys that they slept with. Little, you know, there was pedophiles there everywhere. They had temple prostitutes. All this stuff went on in those days. And you were saying today, Gal, similar things were happening. Is that correct?
Yes, I was. I was saying the same Baalism that's around today was around back then.
Yeah.
The Pharisees and the Sadducees were stooped in it.
Yeah.
You know, why do you think Jesus said, "You brood of vipers"? Like,
Yeah.
you're
Wow.
of your father, the devil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same scenario.
Yeah.
And the, you know, the Spirit of God's going after the same thing to remove it out of this world.
Yeah.
You know, salvation is about being delivered from this corrupt generation.
Yeah.
Same corruptness. Let's go after it. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's restore the kingdom.
And I think today we've the church setting we've done the same thing. You know, we had that's the innie and the outer club. You know, and people don't want to borrow that because they think, oh, you know, I don't want nothing to do with you guys. You know, and instead of loving on people and starting speaking truth to people and standing up for righteousness and truth and what's going on, we've so blended in with the Baals and the Kabbalistic stuff and that, and people don't know the difference half the time. You know, when you see what's going on today, and, you know, we're saying, oh, yeah, you know, these politicians are Christians. No, they're not. It's the same cabal set up, the same spirit that we saw years ago is actually hiding in that, doing the exact same thing today. Again, you know, today there's pedophilia right through Parliament. You might not believe that, but you want to check Bill Heffernan and what he had to say about that, because he exposed a whole lot of them. Did you know there's a 99-year suppression order and you're not even allowed to look at that, what's going on? And some of the politicians and some of the judges that have been involved in pedophilia, we're not even allowed to look at that. But this is no different than what happened back in those days. And it wasn't the military that got destroyed. It wasn't the military. It wasn't the Romans. It was actually the Pharisees. So these Pharisees we see today, you heard me speaking this morning about Humpty Dumpty, you know, had a great fall and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again. You know, there was a prophetic time frame where that happened years ago. They were speaking about the king who came down and couldn't be fixed. This is what's happening right now. We see around Canberra, we see around all these things where, you know, Humpty Dumpty's going to have a great fall. But this pedophilia stuff has been going on for a long time. It's nothing new. This is what happened back in the days of 70 AD when that temple was destroyed. We're at that time again. And I believe it's to push the church out, wake up, you know, because we've sat back in the box of what the Jewish Pharisees did with their little synagogues and all the rest. We've done the same thing. And we've actually stopped others from entering in. What do you think about it, Gal? Do you have any more to say on that?
I think that, yeah.
There you are.
What do I think about that? I think a person's character will always display the fruit of their life, and you get to see who's living in righteousness, who's living to help their community, who's living to destroy it. Just look at the fruit.
Yeah.
And, you know, things that appear to be hidden become evident because you listen to the words they speak, you listen to the actions that follow their voice, and you get to see exactly who they are.
Yeah.
You can't be tricked by it. You see it clearly.
Yeah. Because you know, even today I watch some of these protests. You know, they're all being peaceful, and you've got the media, and you know, they're pushing the police to actually stir it up. You know, and spray them with pepper and shoot them with rubber bullets and all that. But it's all been peaceful. Do you know why? Because there's people that are actually living into and doing what they're called to be. You see, we're all a word made flesh. We're all sent forth from eternity into this realm and supposed to be knowing what we're called to do. And I watch people out there that don't even have a relationship with Jesus yet, are actually in their calling, are actually there. And then you got the other ones, as I said, the politicians that pull the Christian card. I've been watching that for years. I remember years ago when, what was his name? Bill, what's his name? Anyway, politicians from America, right from the past, they've all pulled the Christian card. They've said, George Bush, that's what I'm trying to think of. I used to say years ago, I knew he wasn't a Christian. He's pulling that card too. And everyone's saying, oh, we've got another Christian there. No, we haven't. We need to stop this. You need to start looking at righteousness. You need to start looking at truth. You need to start looking at the ones that are actually standing up against this stuff. Because what is actually going on now, we're in the best times yet, because this all this stuff, Humpty Dumpty, had a great fall. That's what we're going to see. We're coming into that place now where we're going to see, and I got that off Johnny Enlow, by the way. He said that first. But that prophetic word is so true, because right now, all the king's horses and all the king's men have been surrounded, and it's not happening. We're talking about God against evil. Who do you think's going to win? Friends, we're coming into the best days yet.